There's 4 legs on a stool. And if your business doesn't have 4 legs, you're going to fall apart. Most businesses rely on one channel or one leg. You remove that leg, it falls apart. Even if you have 2 legs, it falls apart. Minimum of 3 legs is required for a stool to be sturdy. 4 is better. Yesterday, Google just did probably one of the biggest updates I've seen in the last couple of years in the SEO space. And a lot of sites are getting crushed. But I wanted to use this as an example to show you that if you're relying on one channel in business for your lead generation, for your sales, you're going to fail. And that's the reality of things. Business is adaptable. Business is about war. Business is about figuring out how to become agile and how you're going to pivot and how you're going to figure out, oh shit, Google just changed. How do I fix that? But what I see most people do when they start out is they only focus on one channel. And they put all their eggs in one basket. For using a stool analogy, they're only one leg on the stool. And then Google comes around and all you're doing is just relying on Google and chops that one leg. What happens to your business? It falls apart. I've seen this time and time again in the affiliate marketing world. I've seen this in even the crypto space. I've seen this in many different industries where people just rely on one channel. Whoosh, the kibosh happens and your business dries up overnight. So this is a great opportunity for you to figure out or do an exercise on diversification. And so in business, you got to diversify, man. You got to test different channels, whether it's SEO, paid, direct response, JV deals, affiliate marketing, Salesforce, outreach, etc., etc. If you're not at least playing around and experimenting in different verticals or different channels of user acquisition, you're going to fail. You know, I always give this example. Let's say most e-commerce companies are heavily based on Facebook advertising. Also Amazon advertising. Let's say overnight Facebook's like, hey, you just can't do it. And we've seen it for many different products. What are you going to do then? Let's say, you know, you have a very small margin. So you're figuring out your CAC ratio, right? Customer acquisition cost or return on ad spend costs based on breaking even for getting a new customer for your e-com store. Let's say Facebook just bang overnight. Then what? You know, you're fucked, to be honest. And so that's not good. It's not good to be in that situation. And so I would make a plan right now. I would figure out an 8x11 plan. And I would figure out, okay, psychographics matter. So meaning the avatar of your customer. The avatar of your customer determines where your customer spends their time on online. And it's funny, man. I made a video not too long ago talking about how direct response in-person mail is going to fucking kick ass. And look at this. Look at COVID. I made this video before COVID. And I think it's even more relevant now than ever. People are spending time at home and just having that physical. Anyways, I'll get that in a second. But what I want to talk about is this. So there's a psychographic avatar of your customer. And for the most part, they have their communities online. Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, search, yada, 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 all this different stuff. You need to make a list of where your customers are. And what I like to do, instead of us trying to start from the bottom, I like to do the gatekeeper strategy. So you make these channels, right? And you figure, okay, who are the top gatekeepers in this channel? And you need to target those gatekeepers. Gatekeepers can be websites, they can be influencers, they can be certain brands, they can be email lists, they can be anybody that represents the 80-20 rule. So what a gatekeeper is an individual that has direct access towards the audience that you're trying to do. I'm a big believer in more or less JV deals with influencers, specifically micro influencers, people that have a stronger connection with your audience. And especially now, if you look at a lot of these so-called influencers, let's say 10,000 and under that have reach, both for podcasting and YouTube. YouTube CPM these days is shit for these YouTubers. Like they're getting subpar $8 a CPM, which is garbage. You make no money. Even podcasters that have maybe an audience of like 4,000 to 5,000 downloads a month, no ad network will accept them. And so they have to manually find advertisers to advertise them, but they have a really strong audience. So these are opportunities I see right now for people that are relying on just one channel or one stool or one leg of a stool. You need to diversify. So I would make a list, the psychographic list of where your audience are. Then the next list is gatekeepers that represent those audience. You need gatekeepers that vouch for you. You need gatekeepers that will open up the door and say, hey, this is a valid source and I highly recommend you go check it out. And so if I'm starting from scratch right now with a business, I would then do the micro influencer approach. I would then make the list of the psychographic of where the communities are. Then I'll figure out, okay, who are the top YouTubers? Who are the top podcasters? Who I want to say top, but let's call it micro niche. Work the way up. Who are the micro niche YouTubers, podcasters, email lists, newsletters, and I'll reach out. And what's cool about this strategy too for paid traffic acquisition, it's not just paid traffic acquisition, it's second order effects where that entity, the gatekeeper, is vouching for you. And so I want to quickly take this opportunity of what happened in Google the last 24 hours by destroying millions of sites around the world to really focus on the fact you can't rely on one source. You can't. You got to diversify. You got to be smart. You got to be agile, and you got to be always playing to win. You always got to be there figuring out ways that you can get more users, figure out ways where there's better channels. Like business is about evolution. Business is not about sitting back and relaxing. Business is about figuring out, okay, this is war. I'm going to war with other people and I have a product that I believe is better than other people's products. How do I get my products and how do I get my products in other people's hands and how do I tell a better story to connect with people? And so you got to diversify your lead generation channels so that in case any of those channels comes around and chops you down under, you're not 100% focused on that. And I'll leave it at that. If you have a comment, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure to hit the like button, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.